Hey everyone, welcome to Opal Oracle. 1 second. Libra. Did I say anyone new to Opal Oracle? This is your heart. What you want. Okay, hold on a second, please. Kind of like in the middle of something, and I'll explain something in a second. What? Wait a minute. We need more information. It's okay to, this is a time when you are allowed to deliberate. Okay? You're allowed to deliberate right now. You don't have to rush anything. If you rush something, you'll make the wrong decision. What's behind this one? Yeah. There's no need to rush anything right now, okay? It's Gemini season. Gemini's title of their reading was Take It Easy, okay? So, Libra, this is the 3rd time I recorded your reading. It's actually Gemini season, right? 3rd house. Did one during the day, one at night, one during the day. 3rd time's a charm. You should watch the Aries reading for full June. Let me absorb this in, because it's a new, I came up with a new spread for everyone. My head hurts, Libra. Back here. What part of your brain is that? Like right here, right behind your ear. You can feel like the bone. Okay, so I don't feel like being in this corner anymore. Just a second. Azumi sheds like crazy. I brush her all the time, but she's still always like releasing something. But it's cool.
Right? You're such a good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Because it's okay to release. What, am I going to be mad at her for getting rid of what doesn't suit her anymore? Like where we live is really hot, but she's a dog that has an undercoat. So it's inappropriate for her to have such a thick protective layer in this environment, right? No. Okay. Well, that feels better. Let me get a pillow too. I want to be comfortable. How about that? Remember I said earlier about not rushing anything? What really needs to be done, like, right now? Anything? Don't you have everything in order? You usually have everything in order. Even if you're scrimping by, and I heard, yeah, like scrimping by the, what do they say, by the skin of your teeth, which is a nasty saying to me, but you're fine. You're an organized individual, okay? So I heard, what's the rush? Now, I guess I'll go over this with you. And if some of you don't want to tune into the channeled messages, 5 minutes is when you can begin, Libra. So you have the World card in your heart position, okay? So you have an opportunity to complete something in your heart. What's cool is that this is in your wand. So I'm presuming that you want this card to be closed out for good. This is what you need to do that. Strength. You need the heart of a lioness or of a lion. You need patience and grace. Did I say patience? Because I actually mentioned this in your reading last night, but like how patient you are. How patient you have been to some stuff that was just absolutely inappropriate, right? Because you could see someone's potential. But it wasn't the reality, right? There's no pentacles here. Now, of course, although I'm sensing this as in the past, actually, and you see this as the past also, in a way, so that's really good. This is in your mind. And the whole reason why I'm telling you to slow down a little bit before you make the decision, right? Gemini's the Lover's card. It's all about major decisions. Next will come the Chariot. You move along, right? Well, once this Three of Wands is ultimately decided, it changes a person's whole fate. Right? You see, this person has their back to the ocean. This person's looking directly at it. It knows that it can do anything in this life. All it has to do is decide. But it's not about just deciding because you have an option in front of you. It's a bummer sometimes when there's multiple recordings because I don't like to repeat myself. I like saying things once. And if you're listening, then you get it. And if not, that's okay. But it doesn't mean I'm going to repeat myself. Didn't we talk about this? Making a decision? Was that May? Hold on a second, Libra. Your soul's pretty fiery right now. I see that your soul is actually willing to go towards this task with vigor. Like your soul is fearless right now to want to close this out to what you want so that you can get what you need. Right? So there's a big something that's happening also. Everyone's been receiving this message where Scorpio, well, people should appreciate Scorpio. I mean, there's good and there's bad to everything, and not a Scorpio is just a Scorpio, like you're not just a Libra, of course. But there's something about, you're going to have, you have Uranus now in Scorpio's house. So this is big and beautiful and expansive and revolutionary and rebellious, right? Very healing. So there's a need for respect there. It's like when you go into you go into like your grandma's house or somebody's grandmother's house, right? Well, anybody's house you should do this, but particularly I see like an elder when you're, there's an extra level of respect there. Well, I'll take that back. It's not extra. What it is intentional. There's a strong awareness within each movement, right? When you feel like that, you're like, I want to make sure that I am completely aware and centered. And part of what Scorpio is going to be teaching you is the beauty in silence. Because you're an air sign, you're chatty a little. You're not the chattiest, but you like to communicate verbally, right? You work a lot out through your verbal communication from in here, out of here. But the thing is you can have that conversation in here and in here. And you should have it in here and here, heart and head, before it comes out of your mouth. It will show externally integrity to people. Not that you don't believe in integrity, because you do, and that's why Scorpio has it so strongly, is because you're the justice card, right? You're all about integrity, about fairness, etc. But a judge, think of a judge. Is a judge going to sit on, like, up in their booth or whatever you call it, and deliberate out loud to everything that he just heard and whatever until he figures out the decision? No. He goes back into his chambers and takes a fucking minute. Maybe it takes a lot of minutes. Maybe it takes a whole day. Maybe it takes him a week to deliberate. Because when he says what he says, that's gavel down. End of story. It'll help you to also decide in a way. I heard, whose side are you on? Sorry, I hope you don't think that I'm like... But maybe that's also what you're thinking, where you always feel like you have to be on both sides. But you don't. Maybe that's part of figuring out about the scale. When it tips really hard, it's like, well, instead of being a scale, just make yourself a little miniature person and jump over here. You know, you're allowed to be on just one side if you want to. That's called making a decision. You know? And again, you don't have to make that decision right away from your inner child that's anxious. Because people didn't allow you to verbally express yourself when you were a child, because you probably had a strong mind. And I can tell some fire, right? Even though you're a Libra, even though you're air, there's a lot of fire here. But more than anything, I see fired up thoughts that had nowhere to go, and now it's working out through your communication. But your advice ends up being the Queen of Swords and the Chariot. Well, perfect. There's a clarity of mind to exactly where it is that you're going. And again, we are at the 6, then we go to the 7, right? So it shows me that you make the decision from an adult position, from a serious position, from a place of integrity and honesty. And you've gone over all the facts, right? You weeded out all the bullshit. Because you know better. Because you figured out what you need is you to know. You know, air signs are a little bit sharp. This is water, this is fire. So this is Cancer and Leo, like they're I feel and I want. I want to feel more. I don't want to just feel in my head, I want to feel in my heart. I want to feel in my heart. I heard trying to, while you're deliberating things in your life, especially big things, I know that it floats around here. Okay, all the air signs do this. They'll keep on the crown chakra, whatever this, which is fine. It's a good place to be. It's a higher position. You know, you're not talking from your root, but it's about, okay, how do you take that and transfer it down into lower chakras? How do they feel in those other places, right? But particularly the heart, because that's what Saturn's also teaching you, is how do you balance yourself, your light and shadow, your masculine and feminine, right? Thinking logically is cool, but it definitely is a bit more masculine. And for those of you who are women, and a Libra, or wherever Libra is, it's a masculine sign. It's really, you know, that could be a challenge to how do you take this kind of programmed attitude, right, in demeanor, mentality, and turn it into this? How do you combine these two things? I like that her hair is red. I never noticed this. And the lion is red, right? It goes from the root chakra all the way up to the crown. Interesting. So again, about grounding in your mind the way you feel in your heart, not just your head. Leo is important to this situation. I see Scorpio also. They actually ruled this card in addition. I just heard you cannot make anyone emotionally be where you want them to be. Even you. It takes time, right? There's no pentacles here, so I want you to keep patience, okay, with the situation. Because there's still some things that aren't quite clear to you yet. So again, there's no need for you to be making any major decisions that are about to push you into the future ultimately with, again, a decision. It won't even let me pick it up. A decision that cannot be turned around, which could be really, really positive, okay? I don't want you to take this. I do feel a little bit of anxiety. That's why I said that. It's like, I don't want you to think that this is some, oh my God, if I make this decision, this is going to happen. No, I don't mean it's not like that. I mean, these are general, and there's more people on the path these days, but the point is that this is an interpretation of love, okay? Love gone wrong. This is an interpretation of love gone right, I guess. But even when love has brought us to this position, the reason why it generally does that is because we're not loving ourselves the way that we should be. And if you continue to, you're learning about this, right? Saturn's giving you a backbone. So good. Isn't it nice to hold your head up high? Finally be able to talk about the pain in your heart and not feel ashamed of it so much? Cool. Because it happens. Like, not boo-hooing about shit. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when a memory comes up about things in the past that have hurt you, right? You can just talk about it with organized energy. Okay, where your energy doesn't get away from you, and then you go back into this kind of space, right? You're just like, you're accepting of it because you know that it brought you to a place of finally recognizing your own self-worth, right? How valuable you are independently of your relationships, even though you're ruled by relationships. These two cards actually came out exactly for you in your other reading. Or someone received this, but I'm pretty sure it was you. Libra. I want to read you, let's see what this card is, and I'm going to read you something. There's Scorpio again, but this is also just someone who's emotionally, maturely, they're able to talk about how they feel, to put simply. And not just letting it, I mean, sometimes this character lets it build up a little before it comes out, but he could express it any old time that he wanted to, he or she. Let me get a book. Hold on a second. You want to come over to my bookshelf? Let's see. What should we pick? I really love this one. Robot Men's and Minds. Oh my God, if anybody ever finds this book, absolutely fantastic. That's what he looks like. That person wouldn't be popular now because they're not fitting the stereotype. Isn't that sad? Like, talent in a way has gone out the window if you're, or at very least if you fit into some standardized societal role, then you're higher on the ladder. And I heard on the chain. Well, where does that chain go? Let's choose from this one, huh? The breath of the eternal deal. Isn't that pretty painting? Okay, Libra. All right. Okay. 1 second. It says, at death he is born again, and the circumstances of his new life are determined by his past deeds and by the habits he has formed. He continues to live in the 3 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep. As long as he continues in these states, he is the individual self. He, as the self, is infinite, indivisible. He is consciousness, bliss. In him are merged all three states of consciousness. From him are born mind, life, and the senses, earth, air, water, fire, and ether. He is the reality beyond all existence. Very scorpionic. Okay. It says, Brahman is all. From Brahman come appearances, sensations, desires, deeds. But all these are merely name and form. To know Brahman, one must experience the identity between him and the self, or the Brahman dwelling within the lotus of the heart. Pretty. Only by doing so can man escape from sorrow and death and become one with the subtle essence beyond all knowledge. Wow. One must experience the identity between him and the self. Him dwelling within the lotus of the heart. Cool, Libra. You don't have to rush anything, okay? You don't have to prove anything. If something feels conflictual, then it's not the right thing or the right time. And it's totally polite, absolutely polite, to request that you need a little time, again, to deliberate anything that's serious. It doesn't matter if it's a bank loan. It doesn't matter if it's a... You know, you rule contracts, so like any sort of signing of anything, any sort of solidification, again, like once you shake on it, then that's the decision. So there's something big. So take your time, because again, if something is yours or meant to be in your life, it'll be there. You know? I mean, some things are parasites, but you'll know the difference anyway by whether it's conflictual or not, right? All right, I'm gonna go sew some stuff, do something for myself. Talk to you later. Peace.